Hello and welcome to another Unreal Engine 5 video. This video will make the enhanced input system and change the controls of our helicopter to the enhanced input system. Now let me make a new folder here and the helicopter folder. Call it helicopter underscore enhanced input. First, before we make anything, you need to go to the project setting. If you are using Unreal Engine 5.1, you do not need to go to the project setting and change anything. But if you are using the Unreal Engine 5.503, you need to change a few things. Just type enhanced. Sorry, enhanced here. I'm using 5.1, so it is already set to the enhanced input. Need to change this to enhanced input, and also this, make it enhanced input, also this. Now that we changed the preferences, now we need to make a context, input mapping context. Let's call it IMC underscore helicopter ER helicopter input. Now this is somewhat similar to the input settings in the previous versions. Here you add the key that you assign the key that you want to use, and assign the input actions that you will make. So we need to make we also go to the input and make a new input action. Let's call it IA I will add the helicopter name here because I already made an enhanced input system for the tanks, but I'm doing this just for to show you how to make it. Move forward and duplicate it. We need also move right. Also duplicate it. We need for the pitch and yaw. We need input action. Heli pitch. Also duplicate it. We need the yaw. Now let's set these up because they have similar setup. Now we need to change it. This action is for the movement, so we need a float value. We need an axis value, 1D axis. For every movement input that you make, you need to make it a float value, so that you will get a float value that you can change the input, that you can change the movement of the vehicle, that you will get axis value between 0 or between -1 to 1. Now this one we made the helicopter, also make it axis value, the pitch also axis value, and Rio also again access value. Now let's set them up here. First let's choose helicopter move forward. Here we assign the buttons. To move forward we use the pitch. Let me change its name, because I do not use keyboard inputs to make it go forward and backward. I use the mouse, so I will change this to thrust. So for the thrust I use the left shift for the positive input, and do not need any change here. And for the negative value I use the left control. For the left control we need a modifier, call it negate. This will make the axis value -1, just like the axis value in the old input settings, but here we call it negate. Also there's another modifiers that you can choose, but for me now I do not need anything else. Also we need to add 2 triggers for each button. Now we need pressed, that will make it change the value of the float to 1, and released, that will change the float value to 0. Here the same, pressed and released. Now that we made the thrust, we need to move right and left. That will change the roll of the helicopter. For the roll I use for the D for going right, and the A for going left. The same, we need 2 triggers for the first one, and 2 triggers and 1 modifier for the second one. Pressed and released. Also here pressed and released. Here we need also the negate, because negate will change the axis to negative. Now we need the pitch. The pitch we use mouse Y, I think it's the pitch. And for the yaw, mouse X. Also we need for the shooting of the machine or the 30mm gun, and for the rockets and the homing missile we need 3 more inputs. Now let's add the input action for the shooting. Duplicate this and change it. Call it 30mm gun. Now we change it to ball digital. Duplicate it. We need rockets. Leave it as ball. Also duplicate this. We need homing missile. Also leave it as bool. Now let's implement them here. 30 millimeter now we need. For the 30 millimeter we needed to continue firing. First we left mouse button. Left mouse button. We need only pressed and released also. Pressed and released. For the we also the rockets. For the rockets, the right button, right mouse button, and we need only pressed. When you press it once, it will shoot one rocket, so we need to press it multiple times to make it shoot more rockets. It looks complicated, but it gives you a lot of control over the input actions that you set up. Also, we need one for the homing missile. We used previously the middle mouse button. Also, we need only pressed, so it will even if you continue pressing it, it will give you single instruction or single input. Now let's change the input in our helicopter. First, we forgot the hover, but I'll add it then later. First, let's start with the yaw and pitch. We called our heli, pitch, and yaw. Now it's here the yaw. Input action heli yaw. Now we change it to the triggered. Still this. Also here pitch, heli, pitch. Now let's test the pitch and the yaw. I'm testing it because I'm not sure if the Y is the up and down and the X is the up and down. Sorry, forgot to implement the our input context. What we need to do is go to our controller, our player controller. You have two ways. Either you start here by getting player controller, cast to our controller for I think it's called my controller. Yes, my controller. Then here you need to set the input context. We need get input, get enhanced input local subsystem, set input context. And we add mapping, sorry, add mapping context, and we choose our context, the helicopter input. But I do not want to do cast in the blueprint, so I will delete this and go to my controller. If you did not make a new controller, you need to make, because the default controller you cannot access it. So you go to a new blueprint and make a new player controller. Let's call it helicopter AC. AC is the abbreviation of uh, I mean PC. PC is the abbreviation of player controller. Let's call it helicopter. Also, you need to go to your game mode and change the controller, default controller, to the one that you made. Now here on the begin play, get enhanced we need reference to self here, add mapping context. Let's use our helicopter input. Now let's start our game. Now we can look up and down and right and left. For me, I will delete the helicopter controller because I already have a controller. My controller. Let me just do not need this. Let me delete it. Here, because I already made the one before, I will just add my other input here. Let's see if it works. Yes. Now let's go back to our helicopter and change. Let's see. Let's look for here. Move right and left. Maybe move right. Let's delete this. And also we need to change the shooting. Now for the shooting, now let's only 30mm gun. Here we do not need this boolean and this also this boolean checks, because here we have a built-in boolean. Now here, just let me make this custom event. 30mm shooting. Also delete this. Also delete this one. Let's move this delay here for the rate of fire. Now with the branch here. $30mm shooting. Now this will handle the repeated action instead of we are making making it repeat itself, or instead of using the timer by event node. Rockets. Heli rockets. Here, if you do not use the boolean, it only triggers once. But here, you are using the pressed and released on the boolean, you will make it continuously shooting when you are continuously pressing the action the button. Here also the homing missile. Now let's try them. I think we need to change the shooting 30mm, because change it to ongoing. Here we need to get rid of this branch and connect the ongoing. Also, for the pitch, we need to add another a modifier, call it negate, to invert the input. Now let's try. Now for the when I press continuously. For the rockets, I continue pressing, there's nothing, only one shooting. now the flow starts. Now, what's left is the hover button. Where is it? Let's go back to helicopter enhanced output. Now we need to add call it hover button. Hover. Leave it as a bool. Here let's change hover and we use the H, this one. I need to make it only pressed. Now let's go to the hover button, the hover mode. Delete it. Heli hover. Also, I think we're finished now. You know how to change the uh, input from the standard or the old way of the input to the enhanced input settings. They look a bit complicated at first, but they are they give you better control and more options at making your input. So now I think I'll end the video. Thank you for watching and see you next time. Thank you.